All right, so today we are going to be talking about the sense of smell and taste. Mrs. Lobby made this PowerPoint. I think these animated illustrations are so funny. Oh, here we go. Why do we study smell and taste together? Well, when you ask that question, hopefully the fact that you guys have studied the vocab word sensory interaction comes to mind. And it's the principle that one sense may influence another. And this is true of all of our senses, but especially with smell and taste. How do we taste? Let's talk about that first. Taste and smell are both chemical senses, and it's important to understand that these chemicals are ingested. We used to believe that we only had 4 taste sensations, and that was the case until recently. A 5th one was discovered. So the 4 taste sensations are sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami, which is kind of savory, meaty like taste. It's a flavor enhancer. I forgot to answer the question, what is the muscle involved? Primary muscle, the tongue. Here are a couple famous tongues. Michael Jordan, Albert Einstein. What's interesting about the sense of taste is that a lot of us, myself included, believed that the bumps on our tongue were actually our taste buds. They're actually the houses that our taste buds reside in. Those bumps are actually called papillae. They help grip the food while your teeth are chewing. They also have another special job. They contain our taste buds. And within each papillae, we have a couple hundred taste buds that reside inside the papillae. So those pink bumps on the side and the top of your tongue are what start off this chain of events. So the taste buds contain our receptor cells, and those receptor cells send information via our thalamus to an area in the temporal lobe near the area where our olfactory bulb is, which is where our sense of smell is processed. So that's why taste and smell are so dependent on one another. This is a close-up version of a papillae. You can see the pink outer portion, and then within it, those white kind of cone-like, I don't know what you would call them, protrusions are the taste buds. I'm going to back up. In terms of taste, some fun facts include the fact that people without tongues can actually still taste because we have receptors on the back of our roof of our mouth and in our cheeks. And if you lose the taste sensation on one side of your tongue, you won't really notice it because the other side will become more sensitive. So that's just kind of an interesting thing to take account of when thinking about taste. Our sense of smell. Our sense of smell is called olfaction. And if you look at this illustration, we ingest these molecules through our nasal passage, and our nasal passage has millions of receptor cells. And in the nasal cavity, messages are sent through their axon fibers, and that's what forms our olfactory nerve. Our olfactory nerve takes it then to the olfactory bulb, which is at the base of the brain, and that's where the information is sent to the primary smell cortex located in the temporal lobe. Again, the olfactory bulb as well as our taste receptor area is located right next to one another. And we also know that this is close to our lower brain regions, especially part of the limbic system that's involved in mood and emotion. That's why our strongest sense tied to memory is smell, because it's located very close to the hippocampus in the limbic system. So to smell a rose, like in the picture here, you have these airborne molecules of its fragrance that actually you ingest, and you find that these molecules reach the receptors at the top of the nose. And it's when you sniff, when you breathe that air in, it actually swirls the air up to the receptors and it enhances the aroma. Kind of a fascinating process. This is just a picture of our olfactory bulb, which is located at the base of the brain, right in the cerebellum. Synesthesia is an interesting phenomenon where the senses become joined and they actually blend. So it's not very common, but more common than you would actually think. And synesthesia, for example, is where you hear a sound, and hearing that sound, actually you perceive a color, you see a color. You see a number, for example, and you might taste a flavor. So they have a different sensory experience than those who don't have this phenomenon. All right, that is it.